Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chartwise Women with Erin Swenlin and Mary Ellen McGonagle. Welcome to this Thursday, April 1st, April Fool's show. Mary Ellen and I are here to educate and inform you and also prepare you for what to expect next week and give you an idea of some of the things that we're looking at that we think you should look at. So let's go ahead and just get right on into it. How are you doing today, Mary Ellen?
Yeah, doing great. Gearing up for a long weekend. Always a pleasure, but gives us more time to push up our short sleeves and really get behind what's taking place. Lots going on in the market as far as little shifts and areas that are coming to life. So
Exactly.
very exciting.
I know it's crazy. I mean, I've been waiting for the decline and, so far we're not seeing it. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. But today we're going to talk about stocks that are at pivot points, mainly because, the market has broken out to new all-time highs. There's still a hugely strong bullish bias out there with market participants. And consequently, we're seeing some really interesting sector rotation. So we're going to talk a little bit about both what's going on in the market, what's going on with the sectors, and then we're going to give you a list of really interesting stocks that you might want to look at and consider as we move forward. All right, well, let's go ahead and get it started. I will be doing a quick market overview after we talk about the wisdom of the week. So for me, my wisdom is the first one, and that is that, when the market breaks out like it is, you should expect that most of those previously, unloved stocks and industries are likely to break out too. They haven't found favor as the market has been moving down, but now that the market is starting to break out, a lot of those areas of stocks and industry groups are starting to break out too. So you want to get on top of them.
You bet. And then my wisdom centers around the recent plan that was rolled out yesterday by Biden, the infrastructure $2 trillion plan, and the fact that government policy, particularly related to fiscal policy, is going to be historically your most powerful market force. This is going to have the most impact, whether it's the Federal Reserve, government spending plans, and so forth. So we are going to cover precisely where the power is given yesterday's plan that was rolled out.
All right, excellent. All right, well, let's go ahead and start. I'm going to do a quick market overview for everybody here. I've got to get my screen all set up for that. It's been really interesting for the decision point alert, which I publish every day for our subscribers. I talk about the market, what the forces are going on with it, and the things that we need to pay attention to. And, honestly, when you look at the SPY, this is our SPY chart, it's been a really rocky road here since the middle of February. It's been really hard trying to, time the market. And honestly, when I was watching this as we were in this declining trend, my expectation was we had a double top forming, and there was a really good chance we were going to go down and test some of the support levels down here. Well, of course, that didn't happen. We ended up with a nice, strong breakout. There's still a bunch of problems, I think, under the surface, so we do need to be alert to that. That's why it's the decision point alert. But we need to be alert to the fact that, despite what's going on here, we need to know what's going on under the surface. And there are still a few things that are bugging me, mainly some of the negative divergences. You can see this right here with the on-balance volume. Every time you get a positive day, the OBV line is added to with the volume of the day, and then it's subtracted if it's a down day. So you want to see the OBV make new highs with price, because if you don't, that tells you there's a problem under the surface, at least as far as volume. And I have to say our volume indicators have been really sickly as of late. But, I'll show you one more chart about that. But this is the other thing I'm a little concerned about. I mean, I think it's great when people are more complacent and everybody's feeling bullish. That obviously gives you a nice, back wind at your back sort of thing when you're looking at your investments. But also when we get too complacent, that tends to be where you start to see these downturns. So we just need to be aware of that fact. But, as I tell people, and I've been telling people all the way through this, is that we do have a rising trend. We still have had a rising trend, and you still want to climb that wall of worry, as we say. So even if things are looking a little shaky out there, there are always those pockets of strength that you always talk about, Mary Ellen. And so that's what I'd be looking for. I'm just going to show one more chart and I'm going to pass it over to you. And this is what I was talking about with my short-term indicators. So the good news is they've been rising this entire time since the bottom. So we were on notice here before we got that big upswing and bottom, because that's when our indicators started to turn back up. So we knew something good was going on under the surface. Problem I have still is these negative divergences. You make new all-time highs, you really should see your indicators follow through. And here's what I mean about the volume indicators. I mean, it's been rising, but certainly not to the degree that our breadth indicator did. So that is part of my issue. But when these guys are rising, when the Swenlin trading oscillators are rising, you're usually going to see continued rally. So as soon as they turn down, that's when we start to get concerned, because you can see back here they turned down and that came right at that market top. So if you want to follow this kind of stuff every day, you'll definitely want to check out the decision point alert. But I'm going to pass it to you now to talk about sector rotation. I know you do a lot of studies with that.
Absolutely. That is a big part of my work. As many of you know, spent 15 years with William O'Neill and Company, founder of IBD, and his work there was all about getting in front of these winners. Almost 50% of your stock price improvement has to do with that industry group that you are a part of. So that is just telling you how critical it is that you make sure your stock is in the right group. I thought I'd just spend a second here. Erin did go thoroughly through the S&P 500. Another area that I focus quite a bit on is the NASDAQ. That's where a lot of these big growth stocks that I'm looking to get in front of and have been able to with my MEM Edge report. They are going to reside in the NASDAQ. So I've been on the prowl for this index to turn bullish again. And today we are, depending on where we close, looks like we are going to get that nice bullish signal. So let's go in and take a look at the sectors. I'm going to share with you the 11 underlying sectors within the S&P 500. Quite simply, and this is great information available to you on StockCharts.com. I'm looking here at year-to-date performance of these sectors, and take a look. Energy and financial very clearly up here in the forefront. And as we drill down, we can see now these three areas here are cyclical and recovery areas. They're areas that my work uncovered back last fall. We've been able to benefit from the move in here by identifying stocks that have gone on even higher. But let's go down and take a look at some of these underperformers. This is what Erin was alluding to with her wisdom this week. So we can see that technology, and it has underperformed the S&P 500 over the last several months, and likewise with consumer staples. And these are two areas that generally do have those high growth stocks. They are, by and large, can be very much in the outperforming space, but they have not. So that's year to date. Let's just take a very quick look at what has transpired or is transpiring over this current week, and take a look. Technology up here in the forefront, 4.2%. Consumer discretionary up almost 3%. And that's going to compare to the broader markets. The S&P is probably up about 1.5% for the week. So from here, what we can do is, of course, drill down. I want to see where is that strength so that I can then participate in that strength. So now from here, we can get those underlying sub-industry group performances for this week. I talked about Biden's infrastructure plan. So I'm just going to spend a second here and give you a visual. This is from the Wall Street Journal, and it provides you with a visual as to where that $2 trillion in spending is anticipated to go. Now we're a long way away from this infrastructure plan being approved. There's a lot of pushback from Republicans, but it does bear noting. Let me just take you down a little bit further here. I like these bar charts, are more informative for me, but we can see electric vehicles are very much in the forefront. I'm going to take us down to the manufacturing part of this proposed bill, and we can see domestic manufacturing is a part of it. But take a look, semiconductor stocks, huge investment, 50 billion into that area. And then I've really been digging down, have done quite a bit of work looking behind the scenes here. And even when you look at EV, electric grid improvements that are anticipated, all of that is also technology driven. So hence the move into these areas. Renewable energy is all about the electric vehicle spend. I think Erin's going to be getting into that. And then software is another critical component. One last item, Biden did say that it is his goal that the 5G availability, the 5G where you can have your data speed much faster, his goal is to have it rolled out across the US to every individual in the US. And of course, that is all about technology as well. So there we are with sector rotation. One last notation, if I may, when we look at consumer discretionary up here in the forefront. Two factors at play here. One, of course, is the stimulus check that has been awarded, but also employment numbers are coming in strong. Tomorrow's going to be another big week for that as people rejoin the workforce. And also consumer sentiment this week skyrocketed. So lots of factors that are pushing this area up to the forefront.
Excellent. Yeah, that was excellent to see that breakdown because, specifically seeing the semiconductors in there, that's been a place where it's been kind of hit and miss. And as you showed, that NASDAQ, that very tech heavy index has really not been in favor. And now, given what we're seeing on that plan, it looks very interesting, I would have to say.
Yep. I have a couple of really big winners on my MEM Edge report. And last night I added 4 new candidates and they are all doing exceptionally well. Of course, today, and they look poised to do well going forward. So you guys can get a trial and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to go to break and then we're going to come back and start really looking in those industry groups and the stocks that we are really interested in going forward. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back. And as you can see, Mary Ellen sort of alluded to it, but we have what we consider the Biden Bonanza as far as the stocks and industry groups that are showing strength based on what we saw as far as the new Biden rollout plan. So with that in mind, we want to share a few stocks with you. And I am going to go ahead and start myself with renewable energy because I watch this area very closely. Full disclosure, I am invested in this industry and I've been watching this and we kept getting these fake out rallies. And now it really looks like we're ready to make that change. For the first time since the big decline, we finally have my price momentum oscillator. It measures momentum. We finally have a positive crossover here. This is TAN, the solar ETF. I should have mentioned that. But you can see that volume is now coming in. And now we have what could very well turn out to be a double bottom formation. And if we get a move above 100 here on TAN, the expectation is a move that is the length or the height of the pattern, and that would put us really right here near those all-time highs. So I think that we have a lot to look forward to in this sector. There's certainly plenty of stocks we can look at. SunPower is the one that I do own. And you can see that it also is kind of forming this double bottom. I'd sure like to see it get above these moving averages, but as you can see, we're really starting to see some action here on this particular one. I think end phase is another one that's looking interesting. Look at that beautiful double bottom. And then you do have that crossover buy signal for the PMO. But I'm going to switch it to you now, and you can talk about those technology areas that you're interested in.
You bet. Yeah, let me go ahead and grab the screen and I'll share with you what I am seeing, because technology is an area, among others, that are near and dear to my heart. This is from my work where I'm going to be uncovering a lot of stocks that really go on to outperform in a major way. So let's go back to that view of the tech sector. We talked about that 5G rollout, all about technology, but I'm going to take it a step further because semiconductors, I can share a couple of names. I will there, but I want to.
Yes, let's get your screen up.
Okay, let's do it. And then from there, what we can do is take a look at some of these software stocks that might not come to mind originally as being instrumental, but I'm going to share some stocks with you and explain what they do. But first, as a way for you to get in front of these better set up stocks, those that are technically sound, this is that StockCharts technical rating. And a lot of these names, this is crypto related. Lyft, of course, it transports individuals. So I'm going to drill down a little bit further and get us in front of names that are going to have a little more to do with this move and this proposed budget. We're a little bit early on this one, but this is Cloudflare, NET. Big winner on my MEM Edge report. We did remove it when it broke support back here. So now it's on my watch list. I know it has great growth prospects. It is in the beginning stages of potentially reversing its downtrend. I talk my work about double bottoms where the stock hits a low, rallies, comes back and pulls back. You want your second pullback to be above the first. So we have that nice double bottom. Once the stock breaks back above this 50-day moving average with the RSI and MACD in positive territory, NET will be off to the races. This particular stock is all about firewall related and security. And when we talk about 5G, the movement of data in a faster fashion, you will see these software security stocks pick up. Let's take a look at another stock in software that is a little bit further along in its advance. This is HubSpot, HUBS, and this is all about delivering inbound marketing and sales. Also traffic driven. We can see this gap up here. The company came in with tremendous earnings, pulled back with the group, and take a look. It's more on its way to forming the right side of this base. This is a much more constructive chart within software. And I have one last one that is in software and another big winner for MEM Edge, also double bottom, breaking out above this 50 and your shorter term moving averages and poised to trade higher. Now let's go ahead because I would be remiss to not share with you some of these semiconductor stocks. I'm very familiar with those stocks that are 5G related. They did falter a bit in the second half of last year, but are coming back into play, and rightfully so. There's a chip shortage in place, and now this alluded spend that may or may not take place. I'm going to share with you, this is a stock, Applied Materials, that has been on my MEM Edge suggested holdings list since last fall. It's been a real winner for us. I highlighted it last Sunday as a strong buy, one of only two tech stocks that I highlighted as a strong buy, and it's up 18% this week. But I will share with you that the stock is extended. So from here, we can just go ahead and add a shorter term, simple moving average. And it is this blue 5-day simple moving average. Take a look at how the stock hugs that MAV. So a pullback to that area would be an ideal buy point. This is, in my estimation, the leading stock among semis. I don't know if I have time to share another name or two.
Oh, sure. Go with one more, and then I'm going to share some of the infrastructure type stocks.
You got it. Okay, we'll go ahead and look at a sister stock, if you will, that is very much 5G driven. Another stock on my list that has been a big winner. Nice base breakout today. Nice volume characteristics. Again, also a bit extended. If you are going to enter, does not pay now or in any period to chase these stocks. So look for a pullback to that 5-day, which takes us to 592 area, and you can participate in that nice uptrend.
Awesome. So one of the things we were looking at on that list that you showed and shared was building materials, infrastructure. And I started to see some pretty good names in that area, as well as in telecom. That is technology, but telecom equipment, I have a couple there too. So let's start off with, I'm actually going to start with a ETF called PAVE. I think that's an excellent name. And it is actually the US Infrastructure Development ETF. So this is a way that you can get involved in this area across everything from telecom to building materials, etc. And I love this breakout. We had a really big pop yesterday, but it pulled back. And now it's staying above this area of support at that top right there. And you can see brand new crossover buy signal for me here. And then here's what I'm talking about with that OBV. You can see the participation in this particular move volume-wise has been really great. So that was one. And then a couple building material stocks that I liked when I went through. Builder's First Source is looking really great. You've got, again, another PMO getting ready to cross over and give us a buy signal. Excellent participation here. And then when you look at it in relation to the S&P, you can see it's starting to outperform right here. So I think that one looks good. Carrier is another building materials stock that I think looks pretty good here too. You've got that breakout and it is holding that support level right now after a big gap up that could end up being one of those breakaway gaps. So we'll be watching that very closely, but you can see really great performance against the S&P and good performance here against its industry group. So I think all of those look good. And then real quickly, I'll do two in telecom and then we'll pass it back to you. Actually, I'm going to show one more in infrastructure, and that is US Concrete. I know it is down almost 9% today, but after that really strong rally, this is really constructive. We're getting that big pullback, but this could be an area now with that big decline as a possible entry point. So I liked concrete, and then I think steel is still just doing really great. And you can see, again, the breakout holding support and a new PMO crossover buy signals. It's just a smorgasbord out there. We have two more I'm going to show, and then I'm going to pass it to you real quick, and then we can get into, yeah, that happened. One is Sienna. This is in that telecom equipment area, and you can see the rally that's building here. You can see two bottoms of the PMO above that signal line, and that is especially bullish. So I very much like Sienna. And then one other is Corning. And you can see this one's formed a nice little bull flag here. The expectation is if we get a breakout again to new all-time highs, then that will execute this flag, and you're able to expect for a minimum upside target basically the height of that pattern again, and that is $4 in this case, which would give us an upside target around $48. So lots to look at.
Yeah, those are both 5G related, those network stocks. So good call there.
All right, we pass back to you. I know you probably have a few more, and then we can get into, yeah, that happened.
Actually, yeah, I think we might have to go into, yeah, that happened.
Oh, okay. Well, you have a bunch of stocks for that too. So let's go ahead and move right on in.
You bet. So in line, of course, this Sunday, for those of you that celebrate, it is Easter coming up. Our producer came through again, found this unusual story about these rabbits that walk on two legs, and they also walk on four legs. They just do not have the ability to hop. They've been part of the bunny population for almost 100 years now, and so it's quite the sight to see. From here, we can, of course, go ahead and take a look at some animal related stocks that are publicly traded. So I'm going to step up here and share with you a company called Freshpet, FRPT. They provide fresh food products. A lot of people taking extra special care of their pets. Erin, I know you even make the food for your dogs, so they're extra blessed, if you will. But
Yes.
yeah, let's take a look at this chart. We can see that the stock hit a new high back here in the end of February, and it did pull back certainly quite a bit and below this 50-day. But let's take a look at the current action here. The stock has broken back above. This is a lot of noise here as the bulls and bears fight it out. And once it breaks back above those simple moving averages, from my work, you are well on your way. Huge, very nice volume characteristics, positive RSI, and MACD just dipping into positive territory. It's a very constructive chart here. Erin, I'll pull up another one if you want to give a few comments about it, and then I can, I have other ones as another one as well. This is ZTS, and it is more involved in the medical aspect of the industry. So
yes, I actually, my little dog Leo is on their medicine to help with his allergies. So I know Zotis quite well. They get a lot of money from me.
Oh dear. Yeah, so we can see the RSI dipping up here, but what caught my eye is that, again, another name that is breaking back above these moving averages. And now your upside resistance is potentially fading while your outside momentum indicators are turning positive. So certainly quite constructive there. I think we have time for one last stock. And this is a company that actually reported this week. And I've been on the lookout for this because it had gotten so beaten down. This is Chewy, online platform for all things pet related. And in line with a lot of these high multiple growth stocks, it fell totally out of bed. They came in with exceptional numbers yesterday, and it did rise about 9%, but it closed the day up only about 2% and down again today. So I don't know. I don't think this reversal has legs, Erin.
Yeah, I know. I can see what you're saying there for sure. Certainly not ripe.
Right, exactly. So not ready for prime time quite yet. The company really is not putting out numbers just yet, but not very positive. And then one last one that we can look at here is candy related, because with Easter and the Easter baskets filled with candy. This is John B. Sanfilippo, JBSS, a candy manufacturer and provider, and a little sloppy in here. Not too much to talk about, really, quite frankly. It's not very constructive looking.
Well, I think we're just about ready to go, but I think we should give the big announcement.
Yes.
That Monday I do free trading rooms, and Mary Ellen has graciously told me that she will join me in the trading room on Monday. And if you're interested and haven't signed up for that, you can just go to decisionpoint.com. You'll see the ad for the trading room, and you can just click on that and register, because we would love to see you in the trading room on Monday.
Yep. At no cost. So come on and join us. We'd love to see you guys.
Absolutely. And that does it for us. So we wish you all happy trading and a great holiday over the weekend.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.